Welcome back to the Security to Freedom educational modules. Today, Charlie, we've got an awesome guest. Nathan PULLEN was one of the very first people I met in my blindness journey. And ironically, he's not even blind. So Nathan has worked for almost 10 years with the Business Enterprise Program in Arizona. And if you don't know what the Business Enterprise Program is, Nathan will tell you about it after this module. Make sure you research the Business Enterprise Program. What I wanted to tell everybody though, briefly, is that Nathan has got a heart for service for the blindness community. And I've specifically asked him to talk about some topics that some people, well, they shy away from. The reason I've asked him to talk about things like, and seriously, personal hygiene, not having holes in your pants. These are some like why would we talk about those? And just in case there's not been another place that's addressed. And Charlie, how much do people talk about those types of things to people in our community?
Rare, very rare, because it's personal, private, and embarrassing. But you gotta talk about it.
So he'll talk a little bit about that and a lot more about attitude, but soft skills.
Thank you, Ben, for the introduction. And as he mentioned, I am the director of the Business Enterprise Program here in Arizona. I also serve on the Governor's Council of Blindness and Visual Impairment and on the board of directors for Ability 360, who has generously offered their studio space for us for filming here today. So I want to thank them for that. Just to be clear, since I am a government employee, I am here personally speaking to you as an individual, as Nathan PULLEN, not on behalf of the state of Arizona, to get the fine print out of the way. But I'm here to talk to you today about soft skills and what that can mean for you or for a person who is blind or visually impaired in terms of pursuing employment. When you are an individual coming in and applying for employment or seeking a professional opportunity or an education opportunity through a state voc rehab system, you're going to be placed through several processes where they're going to evaluate your skills, and then they're going to provide additional skills and training to you if necessary to help get you to the point of meeting your goals for education or employment. So soft skills tie to this as well, because there are three main categories that are going to be involved in your job seeking or education seeking process. And that's going to be independent living skills, orientation and mobility, as well as assistive technology. Those three things tied together, and when you have that trinity of skills available to you, those skills in your toolkit, that puts you on a level playing field with really any other individual in the job market. It makes you competitively employable.
So I'm telling you, getting up every day, I no longer think about being legally blind. I set my environment up for success. I have the right lighting. I have if I'm traveling, I have everything set up in the bathroom. I have all my clothes organized. I set myself up to win each day. And because of that, my attitude stays positive.
You should be able to get a job based on your personal skills and abilities in the industry or the area in which you are applying, because you are set up for success. You've got the orientation mobility skills you need to be able to get to work on time and manage your own transportation. You've got the independent living skills to be able to properly present yourself, because you dress nicely and you have a smile and a good attitude, and you show a positive image when you are speaking with others, whether you can see them or not. Remember, they can see you. So facial expressions and body language, those things matter. Those are soft skills. So the way that you conduct yourself, the way that you stand, the way that you sit, the way you present yourself, body language is important. So you do have to be cognizant of that and how that affects others as you are interacting with them.
So I remember so clearly as a young boy, my mother saying, "You have a bad attitude." And I would think, no, I don't. I'm just not happy. And I'm just negative because I'm legally blind and life is hard and teachers are giving me homework and you guys are making me learn how to live life as a visually impaired guy, and I don't want to. I don't want to be that guy. So what do you mean I have a bad attitude? You have a bad attitude. Leave me alone. And then I learned over time what a bad attitude was. I learned what a bad attitude was. And that is critical, because I'm in charge of my attitude. No one else is. No one outside of me. No situation, no amount of money or job changes my attitude. I change my attitude.
So as an individual who is blind or visually impaired, or with any disability for that matter, if you were to start out in the vocational rehabilitation world and you are coming to your state's VR program looking for education or employment or some combination of that, they're going to set this very low bar for you where they're going to let you know the very basic requirements of, as I mentioned earlier, you need to be able to show up for an interview or for a case review with your counselor or for an actual job when you get one, and you need to meet all these basic requirements.
Once I started doing these things and dressing and getting to places and showing integrity and being true to myself and doing this over and over, it becomes a habit. It becomes natural. So you can get up in the morning, I can get up in the morning and think, hey, what's possible today? How can I make an impact? Who am I going to be able to help? I mean, that was not the guy from many years ago. The guy many years ago said, how is today going to stink? And who's going to make me feel better? Now, it's not their job, it's my job.
Properly and professionally dressed, you need to have proper grooming and hygiene. You need to be able to show up on time. You need to be able to manage and arrange your own transportation. All of these things together culminate in you being able to show up to the job, and that's before you even get in the door. So if you can't do those basic things, how are you going to show up for the job and actually be able to perform? Even if you're great at whatever the job is, if you've got all the necessary analytical skills, the creative skills, whatever the job may be, if you can't show up on time and properly presented for an interview or have a proper attitude in an interview, you're never going to get the job to begin with.
Is it like a bigger challenge as a legally blind guy to face the day with a positive attitude or not? Well, let me tell you, that's all up to you. You're in charge of that. So for many years I got up, yes, it was challenging because my first thought was, oh, I got to go through my day, this legal blindness. I mean, it's so hard. Oh, please feel sorry for me. I feel sorry for me. And I would blame and complain and just kind of get through life very difficult. But what is it like waking up? You know what? Now I don't even think about being legally blind. Doesn't enter my thought process in the morning because when I'm getting out of bed, it ain't about me anymore. How can I help make an impact and come from my purpose? Why am I here? How can I be fulfilled throughout the day? And it always comes from me, not thinking about me as much.
There are opportunities for you available, but you have to be willing to pursue them. You have to have a sense of self. You have to know who you are. You have to know what your skills are. You have to be able to advocate for yourself and have a sense of agency in promoting yourself. And that doesn't mean going out with a sense of entitlement or a sense of expectation, but it means you are going into a job interview or any professional environment after you've got the job and doing the very best that you can and presenting yourself the best that you can with a positive attitude, showing that you're happy to be there, that you are appreciative of the opportunity, that you are doing the best that you can, and that you are an amazing individual at doing that job. And when you do that, you set yourself apart from other individuals, disability or not, because you are the best person for the job and you are there regardless of any other condition that you may have. That's what accommodations are for, to level that playing field. If you need a piece of software or a magnifier or some other technology, those things are usually available.
As an employee and an employer in my life, attitude was critical. Why? Well, working for somebody, they don't want to pay you if you have a bad attitude. I mean, you're not going to want to help the customers, be kind to the other employees. And so I remember going to work and I worked at it. I worked at smiling, answering the phone with a smile, shaking hands, being happy to see other people. Because I remember once I was getting into sales back when I was in the motorcycle business, and I went to a training and they said, the #1 thing in sales is eye contact. And I went, uh-oh, I'm dead. Because if I was going to make eye contact with my customers, we'd be touching noses. And I don't think the other guys would like that. So I had to figure out another way. I had to, again, best soft skill attitude changer for me was believing in myself. Believing in myself. I believed it was possible, and I knew I'd find a way. And kindness, integrity, respect, returning phone calls, staying on top of things allowed me to advance. I was an employee. Now I'm an employer. I am hiring blind people. I am hiring people with disabilities and sighted people. But it was amazing because those skills set me up for success.
A level playing field simply gives you the opportunity and the training that you need to be able to use the same tools or technology that anyone else may use. Magnification software, voice software, dictation software, and other devices are just means of helping to level the playing field and allow you to be able to do what you do best in a professional environment. You may need some extra tools to do it, but when you have that support, you are competitively employable and you are every bit as good, if not better, than anyone else, because we know you have a positive attitude and you're trying just a little bit harder than everyone else because you haven't had some of the same opportunities and you're working extra hard for it and you deserve it. So go out there, do your best, and you can be competitively employed and have a great opportunity for a professional or educational career.
Book. Back in 1934, I think it came out, and it's called Think and Grow Rich. And that's the first book that started talking about positive mental attitude. And think, it says. It doesn't say grow rich, be happy, then think. It has the first word is think and grow rich. And rich doesn't mean money, it means joy. It means passion. It means full of life. And that's what rich means to me. So let's work on our soft skills together and hold each other accountable.
Charlie, you've become a business owner. Nathan, you work with business owners who are blind and visually impaired. Can people who are blind be business owners? Because, wow, that seems like a lot of responsibility. Help me out here. How does that happen?
My instinct is point to him because you just gave the example. He is a successful business owner, and I could give you a long list of successful business owners here in Arizona, many of whom are in the BEP, but many of whom are individuals who have gone out and hung a shingle and started their own business that's not related to the program in any way. So absolutely, yes, they can. No different than anyone else. Are there supports available and opportunities for self-employment through state programs, through Voc Rehab? Absolutely. Do you need to do that? No, not at all. There are some great business owners out there that have no affiliation, and there are others that have taken advantage of the opportunities available. Either way, a person who is visually impaired should have every employment opportunity available to anyone else, whether it's an entrepreneurship opportunity or a job at any other employer. As long as they've got the attitude, the drive, the skill set, they can accomplish anything that anyone else can. And Charlie's a perfect example.
Yeah. And the right team supporting them who helps believe. So you asked, can a blind person really start a business and own it and operate it? That question irritates me a little bit. What the heck makes me different than a sighted person? Matter of fact, I got some good skills because of my legal blindness. I'm a real good listener, and my brain goes to work to find ways because it has nothing to do with my eyesight. It has everything to do with me seeing myself be successful and creating a company that can help others. So blindness isn't an issue, but of course you do build your environment. You do use the right tools. Nathan covered that. That's important because you want to step into success every day, not into a bad attitude.
So one of the things we're doing with this interview is we're asking questions that people might not want to ask someone who's blind or visually impaired. And Charlie, thank you for being here for this. And Nathan, thank you for being brave as a person who's sighted to address some of these issues. Thank you. So here's a serious thing. I was going to blindness training school. I'm not saying the proper terms there. I was being trained for when I was, receiving skills for being blind in the workforce. And a serious question is, I have progressive vision loss, and it affects my attitude. You guys both know me. You know I'm a happy guy. I love to have a good time, and I want to make sure to smile for people I care about because I believe that smile is contagious, and I'm grateful for everybody who's ever helped me catch one. But the honest truth is, going blind is kind of, for me at least, scary, and mostly because there's a lot of uncertainty and unanswered questions, and I'm learning a lot of new things. And if you're watching this at home, just wherever you're watching it, I want you to know, I know that there's a lot of hard work going into learning these skills and getting to work, and I honor you for it. So, to the question, Nathan, specifically to you, as an employer of people that are blind and helping them get their own businesses, and then to you, Charlie, when an attitude is in a process of change, what do you have to say to someone like myself who wants to be so powerfully awesome at work and just show up and do awesome, who knows the reality of that vision loss affecting them? What do you have to say to them, and what advice should you have to give someone like that? Thank you.
You got really transparent and vulnerable in the beginning of that, which that's where it starts from. That's where you grow from and you can heal from. Not only for yourself, but it also helps anyone you're sharing it with, because wow, he's got the guts to share that stuff. I got something I got to get out on the table. So fear of the unknown, fear of rejection, fear of failure. Absolutely. Could keep you stuck. Could keep you running back to your little cocoon and say, I'm giving up on life. That isn't going to happen to you. You said another thing, as your buddy and knows you're going to be successful, you already are. Success isn't an end game, it's a daily game. But anyway, I want to offer you something. You said, because my eyes, the progression of my eye disease, my attitude, you know, maybe has shifted towards not so positive at times. But guess what? It has nothing to do with the decline of your eyes. It has everything to do with what you're thinking about the decline of your eyes. So just wanted to offer that, because once I realized that, I stopped blaming what was happening to me or what was outside of me and took responsibility for me, my thinking, my attitude got better. Wasn't an overnight thing, took some practice.
And I'd like to piggyback on that a little bit and mention that as an individual, Ben, as many others who have a visual condition that may decline with time, the same services and opportunities that were available to you when you started your journey would continue to be available to you in virtually every state. If you are an individual who is blind or visually impaired, you have the opportunity to go back to your local VOC rehab office at pretty much any time. The same accommodations, training, supports, equipment that were available to you on day one are available to you in 5 years, in 10 years. You might have to reopen your case. You might have to get a new assessment. If your visual condition has changed and you now need a different piece of technology or some additional training to use that technology to get you back on that level playing field with everyone else in the employment world, or to continue to operate a business, those opportunities would remain available to you, and the support system and that underlying structure is still there. Your attitude has to be there, and you have to be willing to reflect on yourself and what your needs are, and be honest with yourself that I do need help. You have to be willing to reach out for help, but those supports and those services should continue to be available to you to help get you back to where you need to be. And then from there, it's back to you and your attitude and your passion and what you want to pursue. The support structure is there, but it's on you to pursue it.
Nathan, you will invest in me if you see me on the path.
Absolutely.
You will, my state will invest in me. Mm-hmm. So I go from 2,100 to, well, 200 because it's legal blindness, right. And then all of a sudden I'm 2,500, now I'm 29. And they see me trying. Our states, our BEP programs, people that are out there working to help us succeed, they'll invest back in us and to help us get our environment and our mindset back on track so we can do what we do best.
That's right. I administer a program that helps some individuals meet their goals. And at the end of the day, if I can help a person who is legally blind to become an entrepreneur and to find the success that they are passionate about finding, that's a win for me. So that comes down to a lot of things. We have some systemic opportunities in place, and we have processes and procedures and policies of the things that we can provide and how we support and train and make these opportunities available. But at the end of the day, it still all comes down to attitude. I can take a bunch of different people into a room and do interviews and narrow it down to who's the best fit and find out who is really truly driven and prepared to be an entrepreneur. That really, again, comes back to attitude more so than skill set than anything else. If you are ready to work, if you are employment ready, you've gone through all of those, what we call comp services, comprehensive services, orientation, mobility, independent living, assistive technology, you're ready to work. Mm-hmm. That's great. You can go get a job anywhere, or you can become an entrepreneur. What sets those two apart sometimes is that attitude, that drive, that passion, the inherent ability to be able to reflect on yourself and take accountability for what skills you have, what skills you need to learn, and what you need to work on. I can teach someone how to be a business owner. I can teach you how to run a food service business. I can teach you how to manage your financials and your product costs and your markups and your profitability. But if you don't have a good attitude coming in, if you're not able to put on that smile and genuinely and honestly interact with customers and let them know that you are the business owner and that you're here to support them and that they are supporting your business by patronizing your establishment, those are the things that make you successful. If you're not able to do that and have that positive attitude, you're not going to maintain a customer base. You're not going to build up a passion of loyal customers behind you who want to support you. But if you have that positive attitude, if you're able to provide good service and good products, then you're going to be able to run a successful business. And that translates to pretty much any industry, whether you're in a BEP in your state or whether you're running your own business like Charlie here. But if you're able to put on that positive face and have a truly genuine positive attitude, you're going to be able to provide good customer service and you're going to be able to have positive interactions with your employees and good relationships with your employees. And as you've probably heard in some other business seminars or things, if you take care of your employees, they'll take care of your customers. That's very true. You need to be able to treat your employees with respect and give them honest feedback, as well as be able to be receptive to feedback from both your customers and your employees. That's what's going to allow you to be able to constantly adjust, to continually improve, and have the best business that you're able to run possible.
So we've been talking about attitude and soft skills in the workplace. And Nathan, today in particular, the reason I've asked you and Charlie to talk about this is you have worked with multiple people coming through your office and they become business owners. And I wanted to talk about attitude as a business owner. And you guys, I used to be a business owner, and because of my pending blindness, I got scared in the world, and I could not, in the past, guys, I could not see myself, pun intended, as a business owner. Can you help me see what I don't see? Can you open my eyes and tell me about the beautiful attitude you've seen coming through your office? And Charlie, after that, I want to hear your opinions on being a business owner who's visually impaired too. Thanks, guys.
Feedback is the breakfast of champions. It's not the easiest. And I want to hang out with people that will give me honest feedback. Hey, you're off. Boom. Only way I can improve is to see the problem, then focus on a solution. But if I'm hanging out with people that are too afraid to tell me that, probably got to find some new people. And the other thing is, I was an employer. I still am. But I was an employer in 2 different businesses for many years. And there's something, the fish stinks from the head down. So if I'm walking into work with a little chip on my shoulder, that's going to trickle down to the people that work for me. If it's okay for me to sound irritated on the phone or stomp my feet, or it's their job to make me happy and money, well, don't they know how great I am? If that's the attitude I go to work with, that's going to trickle down into the people. I want to be the guy that trickles good, that trickles positive, that trickles I can, and so can you. And a pleasure to work with you today. That's the attitude I like.
So I think Charlie is actually a great example of a successful business owner and someone with a positive attitude. You've heard him talk a little bit about how he maybe had a bit of an attitude problem when he was younger. And I think maybe over time he realized that and got some feedback about it. And really, in the end, he was able to improve that, and he has a great attitude now. And what allowed that to happen? I'm guessing you had a moment where you truly reflected on that and you took to heart the feedback that people gave you. In the end, that's what I see as well that makes a successful business owner. It's not just having the positive attitude. That always helps. You need that to make a sale. You need that to make the pitch. But to sustain relationships, to build the type of relationships and symbiotic relationships that you need both with customers, with vendors, with other businesses, with landlords, everyone that you would be involved with as a business owner, you have to have not just the positive attitude, but you have to have the soft skills and the communication skills. You have to be open and receptive to feedback. You have to be willing to continuously improve as well. Part of having a positive attitude, to me, is being willing to change, wanting to improve, always wanting to do your best. And I see that in you. I see that's part of why you're successful. And that's why you can make a sale. That's why you can pick up the phone. That's why you can interact with other people. And that's how you're able to be successful, because you can take feedback and you can continually strive to improve and do better for yourself. And he said, even as we're speaking now, when you're speaking, you smile, you're positive, you're outgoing, you have this positive energy, and that radiates out, and you get back what you put out into the world. And if you communicate with others in a positive way, if you have a smile, whether others see you or not, you have that smile in your voice, that smile in your eyes. Yeah. That body language is evident whether it's visible or not.
I read somewhere, smile when you answer the phone. Right. But before that, so I'd grab the phone and I would stand up from my chair and I'd smile. I'd say, good morning. And some people would say, what the heck is so good today? I'm saying, I'm just happy you called. People could feel the smile through the phone. And it wasn't an effort. I wasn't faking it. I was standing up. I was happy. Now my whole team was smiling while on the phone. And it really, you said it. It's like who I am and what it sticks to you. Yep. How I am helps you in a way through energy transference, you know? Yep. But that's just good stuff.
That's absolutely right. You know, if you don't want to be somewhere, that's going to show. If you are there and you're hungry for that opportunity and you're ready to take that next step and you want to continue to build yourself and to grow, you put on that smile and you continue to push that passion for it and you achieve your goals. Whether it's a phone call, whether you are sighted or not, regardless of who you're interacting with, and they can see you or not, reflect on yourself and try to remember the attitude that you are presenting and the skills that you're portraying, because how you present yourself, the professionalism behind you, the track record that you have, that all ties back to your integrity and how you present yourself and how you interact with others. Not only that integrity, but that consistency. You can't have the jump up and answer the phone smile one day and the grumpy, no, I'm going into a meeting, I don't have time for you attitude the next day.
That's right.
You have to present yourself consistently and genuinely, most importantly. The fake smile doesn't do you any good. You should be smiling because hopefully you are in the right position or the right industry and you're somewhere you want to be and you're hungry to continue to pursue that opportunity and make the best of it. I'm curious if you, starting out, took advantage of any of the opportunities that I'm talking about. I realize you haven't been a BEP operator, but I'm curious if you received services from the state you were in where you started your business and what supports you had available or what you may have been able to utilize in your journey.
Yeah, you're kicking right into this story that must be told. I was cutting a lawn in a motorcycle dealership because that's what visually impaired people could do. And, you know, I maybe missed a little, but I was good at it. So I'd cut the lawn every week because I would get a credit for my dirt bike. I was riding in the woods. So the owner came out one day and asked me a question. I thought he was going to say, you know, you're done. We don't need you. I don't know what I was thinking, hiring a visually impaired guy to cut my lawn. He asked me if I wanted a job there. What? Wow. A job? I was 23, 13 legally blind, right? 10 years. Didn't read a book really. Didn't use a piece of equipment. Nothing. Wow. Now I'm getting confronted with, hi, I would like to offer you a job. And I went home scared. And the bed I lied that night, the bed I lied and cried myself to sleep many times. The bed I used to look up in the air and say, take me. I don't want to face another day as this guy. Not that night. For some reason, I slept. I slept till I went up. I got on my moped and I went to the motorcycle dealership and I walked in and I said, Jimbo. And now he was this long bearded ZZ Top looking guy. He was my idol. He was the motorcycle guy. I went in and I said, I'll take the job, but you gotta know something. I'm legally blind. What I was really saying in my mind was, what are you thinking? You know, I'm legally blind and I'm gonna need, first time in my life, I'm gonna need some help. And that still makes me tingle. Help's okay. And I got help. But you know what he said to me? He said, Charlie, I could tell you had a vision impairment, but you know what? We don't mind. We don't care about that because what you bring when you come in here, the passion, the interest in motorcycles, I believe in you, Charlie, and I want you part of my team. I almost started crying. Somebody believed in me. I got my first desktop video magnifier. I got a lamp. I got a large print keyboard. I got my computer with software. You know what happened? My brain reignited. It's time to put a flag in the ground and own it and say, I want to improve my attitude. So I'm going to wake up. I'm going to ask for feedback. And I'm just going to day by day improve it and then honor the fact or celebrate. Hey, I'm getting a more positive attitude. I'm hearing feedback from people on the phone, my new friends, because you might need to get some new friends. But so put that flag in the ground and own it. And because, gosh, you heard from Nathan, myself, that one soft skill will help transform your life. And my journey of owning businesses, employing and serving and leading started from that one decision, and you can make it too.
That's an amazing story. And what I'm hearing is you had the right attitude and you had the soft skills and you were able to make a positive impression on someone and they provided that opportunity. You were able to take it and to thrive and to prosper. And that's the whole idea here is if you start out, if you work on those soft skills, you present that positive attitude, you project out into the world what you want, you're going to get that back.